A towering luxury hotel stood majestically above the vibrant streets of New York City, its glass exterior sparkling under the evening glow. Inside, the ambience radiated understated sophistication as distinguished guests wandered to the grand corridors of the Plaza Meridian Hotel. Amidst the lavish surroundings, Olivia Martinez, a 27-year-old housekeeper, bore the heavy burden of her responsibilities on her petite frame. Life had been harsh to Olivia. After her father passed away when she was young, she became the sole breadwinner for her family. Her mother, Clara Martinez, a former home health aide, was now grappling with a chronic illness. Olivia's younger sister, Mia, was in college, aspiring to follow in their mother's footsteps as a nurse. With mounting medical bills and tuition deadlines approaching, Olivia's life had turned into an endless cycle of double shifts and sleepless nights, each day blending into the next as she struggled to keep her family afloat. The weight of her duties pressed down like a shadow she could never shake. Meanwhile, Daniel Bennett, the CEO of Bennett Global Enterprises, had just returned to New York after a high-pressure business trip to London. Renowned for precision and quiet dominance in the financial world, Daniel was often referred to as the silent strategist. Yet, beneath his carefully crafted persona of control and power, Daniel carried a burden few could comprehend. A lingering emptiness reminded him of how hollow his life had become. Their world seemed destined never to intersect. But one fateful evening, an exhausted Olivia would fall asleep in the presidential suite she was assigned to clean, and everything would change. Two lives on vastly different paths were about to collide, raising a question neither had dared to ask. Could love bridge the gap between wealth and status? The clock neared midnight as a warm golden light bathed the grand presidential suite of the Plaza Meridian Hotel. Olivia Martinez quietly pushed her cleaning cart into the room, her tired eyes struggling to stay open. This was the final task of her grueling double shift. Just one more room, she whispered to herself, trying to stay focused. The suite was a masterpiece of luxury. Polished oak walls framed floor-to-ceiling windows, offering a stunning view of New York City. The marble floors shimmered under the glow of a crystal chandelier. Yet, none of this grandeur could distract Olivia from the heavy thoughts weighing on her mind. Her mother's medical bills were overdue, and her sister Mia's tuition payment was fast approaching. Olivia moved through the suite with practiced efficiency, each step feeling heavier than the last as exhaustion clouded her senses. After tidying the large bed at the center of the room, she finally gave in to her fatigue. Sinking into a nearby armchair, she told herself it would only be for a few minutes. Within seconds, she fell into a deep sleep. Not long after, the door to the suite opened quietly. Daniel Bennett entered, his expression weary from a long transatlantic flight. He didn't expect to find anyone inside, let alone a woman in a hotel uniform asleep in his room. For a moment, Daniel froze, surprised by the sight before him. His first instinct was to call security, but something stopped him. The young woman looked different. Even in sleep, her features reflected a quiet intensity, as if the burdens of life refused to leave her in peace. Daniel approached and noticed the slight creases on her uniform. Instead of reacting with anger, he reached for the cashmere throw on the nearby sofa and gently draped it over her shoulders. The subtle movement caused Olivia to stir. Her eyes fluttered open and immediately locked onto Daniel's. For a brief moment, time stood still, but reality quickly hit. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," Olivia gasped, bolting upright. The blanket slid to the floor as panic surged through her veins. "I didn't mean to. I was resting for a moment. Please, I can't lose this job. I need it." Daniel raised a hand, signaling for her to calm down. His voice was low but commanding. "Take a breath. It's not as bad as you think." Olivia stood frozen, her heart racing. This wasn't just any hotel guest. She recognized him from business magazines. Daniel Bennett, one of the most powerful executives in the city. Daniel calmly picked up the blanket and placed it back on the chair. He made no accusations, which only confused her further. He broke the silence. "Olivia, right?" he asked after glancing at her name tag. "Yes, sir. I sincerely apologize. This won't happen again." "Stop apologizing. I'm just curious." What makes someone work themselves to the point of exhaustion like this? Daniel's voice was gentle but probing. Olivia hesitated. She didn't want to share too much of her personal life, but there was something in his eyes, genuine interest and concern. After a few seconds, she sighed and decided to answer truthfully. My mom is sick. My sister is in college. They depend on me. I don't have a choice but to keep working these long hours. Daniel didn't press further, but something in his eyes stirred a memory deep within him. He understood all too well the weight of being the one others depended on. His expression softened with quiet empathy. He understood family burdens all too well, losing his parents in a car accident at a young age. He had grown up under the strict mentorship of his grandfather. His entire life had been about building a legacy alone. Sounds like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, Daniel remarked softly. Olivia gave a faint smile. I just do what I have to do. From that night on, Daniel found himself thinking about Olivia more often than he expected. He began visiting the hotel frequently, especially the VIP lounge area, hoping for another chance to talk to her. Though Olivia tried to maintain a professional distance, she couldn't deny that Daniel's presence was comforting. He genuinely listened when she spoke. One evening after her shift, Daniel invited Olivia to take a walk in the hotel's rooftop garden. The soft rustling of leaves and the gentle hum of distant traffic created a calming atmosphere. For the first time in what felt like forever, Olivia allowed herself to relax. The tension in her shoulders eased under the serene night sky. You're not what I expected, Olivia said, breaking the silence. Oh, and what did you expect? Daniel chuckled softly. Someone rich, cold, and only concerned with work and money, Olivia admitted bluntly. Sounds like I'm terrifying, Daniel replied with a teasing smirk. But then his voice softened. What if I told you that despite everything I have, I've never felt more alone? Olivia blinked in surprise. He continued, sharing stories about his past and the isolation that came with his success. In that moment, they both felt a deep connection forming between them. Over time, these chance meetings became routine. The way Daniel looked at Olivia and his subtle gestures of care began to stir feelings in her heart. Yet neither of them spoke of their growing affection aloud. Everything, however, was about to change when a paparazzo captured a photo of them together during one of their rooftop walks. The next day, photos of Olivia and Daniel walking together on the hotel rooftop spread like wildfire across gossip websites. Headlines like CEO Daniel Bennett's secret romance with a hotel Maid dominated the tabloids. Reporters wasted no time ridiculing Olivia, painting her as a gold digger while portraying Daniel as a man struggling under the pressures of his career. Whispers filled the hotel corridors. Staff members and VIP guests began casting judgmental glances Olivia's way. Each step she took seemed weighed down by the scrutiny of dozens of eyes. Conversations halted abruptly whenever she entered a room. The tension reached its peak when Sophia Harrison, an old friend and former business partner Daniel's, made a surprise appearance at the hotel. With an air of effortless confidence, Sophia strolled into the VIP lounge and headed straight for Olivia. Olivia Martinez, right? I'm Sophia Harrison. She introduced herself with a thin, condescending smile. I think we should have a chat. Olivia maintained her professionalism, keeping her tone polite. How can I help you? Oh, just some friendly advice, Sophia replied smoothly, her voice laced with subtle malice. People like us don't take temporary distractions seriously. A chill ran down Olivia's spine. I'm not sure I understand what you mean, she said, trying to stay composed. Sophia chuckled softly. Oh, I think you understand perfectly, she said with a patronizing smile. Daniel and I have a history. Do you honestly believe that someone like you can belong in his world after just a few fleeting encounters? Men like him always return to their own kind. Her words cut deep, each one a painful reminder of the vast divide between Olivia's world and Daniel's. Olivia stood frozen as Sophia flashed one last smug smile and walked away. That evening, Olivia sat in her small apartment, staring at her phone. Messages from Daniel kept appearing, but she couldn't bring herself to reply. Sophia's words echoed endlessly in her mind. Olivia didn't want to be the reason Daniel's reputation or career was tarnished by scandal. After hours of reflection, she made a decision she believed was for the best: to distance herself from Daniel and protect him from further damage. After deciding to distance herself from Daniel, Olivia focused solely on her work. However, she was unexpectedly summoned by hotel management and asked to attend an important dinner with the Wong group from Singapore. Patricia Martinez, Olivia's supervisor, explained that Daniel had specifically requested her to serve as a cultural advisor for the event. That evening, Olivia walked into the hotel's grand dining room with a mixture of anxiety and apprehension. The atmosphere was formal and tense as members of the Wong family, especially Madame Wong, the elder matriarch and most influential figure, were welcomed. Daniel greeted Olivia with a grateful look, but didn't pressure her to speak. The dinner proceeded smoothly until Madame Wong broke the silence with a direct question. "Olivia, tell me about your family." Olivia froze for a moment, startled. All eyes were now on her. She could feel Daniel tense beside her. He knew how much the Wong group valued family and sincerity. If Olivia couldn't provide a convincing answer, the entire deal could be jeopardized. Taking a deep breath, Olivia began to speak. "My father passed away when I was young. My mother, Clara Martinez, raised my sister and me on her own. Despite facing many hardships, she always taught us that true wealth lies in how you treat others, not in what you own." Olivia continued sharing stories of her mother's sacrifices and how those lessons shaped her life. She emphasized that, for her, responsibility wasn't just an obligation. It was a way of protecting the people she loved. Her heartfelt words filled the room with a respectful silence. Madame Wong's sharp gaze softened, her skepticism replaced by admiration. After a brief pause, she turned to Daniel and said, "You have chosen well. She understands something many in your position often forget. Business without heart is just numbers on paper." The tension dissolved instantly. The Wong family members became more relaxed, engaging in further discussions about their collaboration plans. Daniel let out a quiet sigh of relief. Thanks to Olivia's story, the trust between the two sides had been solidified, ensuring the success of the partnership. After the dinner, once the guests had departed, Daniel turned to Olivia and said softly, "You saved me tonight. I don't even know how to thank you." "I just did what needed to be done," Olivia replied quietly, though a strange sense of warmth blossomed within her. In that moment, Olivia realized that she and Daniel shared a bond that transcended the boundaries of their worlds. Camera flashes lit up the press conference room as Daniel Bennett faced the media with unwavering confidence. Rumors about his relationship with Olivia Martinez had dominated headlines, but tonight, Daniel was determined to set the record straight, not just to protect Olivia, but to redefine the future of his company. "These rumors mean nothing," Daniel stated firmly. "What matters are the values we stand for: integrity, empathy, and responsibility to the community." He went on to announce a company restructuring, including plans to collaborate with professionals like Olivia's mother, Clara Martinez, to develop community healthcare initiatives. Daniel emphasized that Bennett Global Enterprises was committed to supporting underserved families. After the press conference, Daniel invited Olivia to the rooftop garden of the hotel, a place that had become significant to both of them. The cool evening breeze rustled the plants, and the lights of the city shimmered in the distance like stars. Olivia crossed her arms, trying to steady herself. She knew Daniel had something important to say, but the wounds left by societal judgment and Sophia's cruel words still lingered. "Olivia," Daniel began softly, stepping closer to her. His eyes held a depth of sincerity that made her heart ache. "I owe you more than just a thank you, not only for what you did during the Wong group dinner, but for showing me what truly matters in life." Olivia remained silent, her mind racing. There was no trace of the aloof businessman she had once met. In his gaze, she saw a man who had ripped away his armor. "I don't just want you in my life," Daniel continued, his voice thick with emotion. "I need you, not for what you do, but for who you are, your strength, your kindness, and your heart. You make me want to be a better man." Tears welled in Olivia's eyes. His words shattered the walls she had built around herself, yet fear still clung to her. "We'll have to face so much," she whispered, her voice trembling. I don't want you to lose everything because of me. There's nothing worth having if I can't live authentically, Daniel said firmly. You've taught me that. Love isn't something I need to hide. I want us to face everything together. Slowly, Daniel knelt and pulled a small velvet box from his pocket. The rooftop lights reflected off the elegant ring inside. Olivia Martinez, will you marry me? Olivia gasped. Her hand covered her mouth as tears streamed down her face. In that moment, all the fear and doubt melted away. She could hear nothing but her heartbeat and Daniel's earnest words. Yes, yes, I will, she cried, her voice trembling with joy. At that moment, all her fears melted away, replaced by the certainty that they would face the future together. Daniel stood and gently slipped the ring onto her finger. He smiled, his eyes glowing with pure affection. Applause and cheers suddenly erupted from the entrance. Mia, Clara, and a few familiar faces stepped forward. Mia waved her phone excitedly. I got it all on video. Olivia laughed through her tears. Clara approached and took her hand gently. My little girl has finally found her happiness, she whispered, her eyes brimming with pride and love. Daniel squeezed Olivia's hand as they both gazed toward the distant skyline. They knew challenges still lay ahead, but now they would face them together,